Hi there, I am Megwin White, and I am in this most beautiful location right now. I'm actually in a Watsu pool, and if you've never tried Watsu before, it's an incredible therapy that really allows you to completely surrender and open yourself to almost like being in the mother's arms. And the theme for my video today is surrender, is actually giving you a tool, an embodied technology that will actually allow you to surrender much more deeply, because we know surrender on a mental level and a mental concept, but really surrendering in the body can be very, very challenging, especially if we've had trauma or any type of repeated pattern in our life. It can be very difficult to surrender. And when we surrender, particularly to our emotions, and what I mean by surrendering to the emotions, I'm talking in a very grounded way. We're able to integrate them all the way through our nervous system. Those emotions can actually help to upgrade us to an understanding, to a new awareness, and are literally part of our evolution. So the practice that I'm going to do today is actually working on directly speaking to the brain, working with a very, very important mineral that we all need in order to survive, which is salt. I'm going to be using the Himalayan crystal salt, which is actually a much higher, much more complex geometry that will also help to provide us with basically a vehicle for the energy that runs through the body to run through it in a more expanded way. So we're going to be working with my friend Alexander, and I'm going to show you basically a technique that's going to use the salt to also help to open up the skull. The skull is basically different bones that come together to form the skull, and oftentimes when we have a lot of tension, anxiety, there's a lot of pressure that's built up in the skull. So this practice is going to help to release a lot of that pressure, and it's going to bring us into our body, into a grounded connection of really feeling ourselves in the moment, in the presence, in the now. So all you need, I'm going to go grab my crystal salt here, is a bit of raw Himalayan crystal salt. I actually recommend the raw, slightly coarser salt. It's going to help to activate the energy of the scalp a bit more, but we're going to use a fine ground today, which is also fine. So we're going to just take a pinch of that salt, and you're going to first put it into the mouth. So I'm going to let you kind of take a pinch of that salt, Alex. I'm going to put it into the mouth, and then I'm going to show you a very basic release. We're going to take the salt and we're going to work with it a little bit on the crown of the head. So it's going to turn your face this way. So you're going to basically find the crown of the head, and you can do this on yourself or you can do this on a person. So we're going to just gently massage the salt, and as we're massaging the salt, he's doing this great, you're going to relax your jaw. The jaw holds a lot of emotional energy, and when the jaw is tight, the head is tight. So good. So he's going to relax his mouth open, and I like to work with what I call the ha breath. So as you're breathing, you're exhaling and you're letting the air out. You're opening your throat, and you're widening your palate inside your mouth, and that's what's going to help to set a release in the bones at the top of the skull, and that will help to anchor the nervous system down. So we're going to now take a little bit of water and put it into the sponge. I'm just going to place it on the top of the head here, and he's just going to feel as he's breathing, particularly working with this ha breath. Good. And the other thing you can imagine as you're doing this is you're really allowing this area, the front of the face here, the cheekbones, to widen a little bit, and that will help to set a release, again, in the palate, which will help to set a release in the skull. And that's it. You can basically continue to squeeze the water very, very gently, working with each breath. do this as a practice on its own, as a grounding practice, and you can also do this as a practice to help you to integrate emotions. Oftentimes when you've gone through something very highly emotional, this practice will help to ground all of that energy into the body. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This was very fun to do in the bath, and you can do this practice in the bathtub or on land. And if you have more comments, questions, please feel free to contact me through my website, www.megwinwhite.com. And thank you, Alexander Galvez of Fit Focus, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you all.